So we're doing some preparatory work for the festive season today. The first thing we're going to do is cure the salmon, or start the curing process for the salmon. This is about 600 grams of var salmon. We've got in this bag here, it's brown sugar and salt. The recipe's on the blog, and all we're going to do is apply the cure, give it a little splash of gin or any white spirit, vodka. So I'm just putting the dill on there like that. Black pepper. You could at this point be putting some lemon zest, orange zest, fennel seeds, and then it's a case of wrapping the salmon up. And we want to wrap up really tightly so all the juices that come out of the fish stay close to the flesh and cure it. So I'm rolling it over. Just keep going around, and that's it. That's going to go in the fridge for at least 24 hours, up to 48, and that will be ready for when we actually come to serve the dish in 2, 3, 4 days time. And we've chosen the Perigord White 2019. Quite a nice front label, very interesting stuff on the back label here. Bee friendly. I'm not asking you to be friendly. The wine is friendly to bees and it's organic. It's made in the Dordogne Valley. I'm sure many of you have been there. It's 100% Sauvignon Blanc, and it's a nice, crunchy, crisp white wine. We think it's going to go really well with some cured salmon, cucumber salad, mustard and dill dressing.
We'll start off with the cucumber, so that'll take a few minutes to salt. So just take the cucumber in half, take the seeds out, and we're just going to peel it down. Nice long strips, because that'll look quite pretty on the plate. Trying to get a little bit of the peel with each one. A little bit of sugar, that's going to draw out the moisture, salt, and then a little bit of sugar as well, just for seasoning. Just going to give that a little mix, and that will take just a couple of minutes while we get our dressing. A little bit of chopped dill in there, a teaspoon of sugar, a couple of spoons of mustard, some basic veg oil or a neutral oil, rapeseed oil would be fine as well. Going to give that a little mix. Super simple. A bit more oil. So that's done, easy peasy, ready to go. So we have the salmon that Clive cured. We're just going to cut that open. I'm sure he turned it, it's beautifully cured I think. So we're just going to give this a little rinse. You can see it's almost changed colour. You can say cooked. Just going to pat that dry. Slice down, not all the way through the skin, and then just like that. A couple of drops of a nice vinegar. We're just using a white wine vinegar there. That goes there. And our dressing. How easy is that?
Perfect. So there we are. A starter, a canapé. It could be. It could even be a sort of nice supper.
A nice little lunch or supper, yeah.
With the Corny and Barrow Perigord White. Should be delicious. Okay, so to make our gravy, or to start making our chicken stock, which is going to have a lot of uses over the festive season, get the biggest pot you can, get as many chicken bones as you can, and we're just going to put these into our pot. I've roasted them so they are as golden as possible. You don't want to get any burnt bits. So we've got the pig's trotter there. It's been split to help the release of the gelatin, and that goes into the pot there. I'm just going to cover that with cold water, bring it to the boil, skim it, and then add my vegetables to cook the stock. Our choice of red from the Corny and Barrow own label case. This is the Company Reserve Claret, a collaboration between Corny and Barrow buyers and Maison Seychelles, a very long established negociant in Bordeaux. This is mostly Merlot, really well balanced, fresh, but with a nice soft fruit. I mean, this wine could be great on Christmas Day, actually, with a turkey. And Justin's going to take us through our preparation for Christmas Day. What have you got, Justin?
So we're going to talk you through making homemade gravy and the bread sauce, both accompaniments for the turkey. Starting with the bread sauce. So we've got an infusion of about 600 mils or a pint of milk, half an onion, and in the onion we've studded cloves, about 8 cloves in there. You can just chuck it all in, but this way you can just take out the onion and the bay leaves, easy peasy. So we're just going to let that, we've brought that up to the boil. We're just going to let that steam for a few moments while we get on with our gravy. I've just roasted a chicken, so I've got some nice fat and juices in the bottom. I'm just going to take a little bit of the fat off the top. You see, just tip it up like that. The fat comes to the top. So I'm going to pop that in a warm pan. If there's any juice in there, that'll just evaporate onto the camera. So a little bit of the fat in there. About a tablespoon of flour. You don't want too much, you don't want it a thick, floofy gravy. This is just to give it a nice bit of body. Do a little bit more, just the plain flour. A splash of cooking wine. Just a little bit to start it. I'm going to mix that in. You'll see that'll start to get thick straight away. Just going to heat that up to cook off some of that alcohol. And then we've got a reduced chicken stock here, which I've made earlier in the week. We're just going to add a little bit of thyme, mixing it in, making sure it's well incorporated. Otherwise we'll get lumps, and no one likes lumpy gravy. So now we've got a good consistency. Going to add the rest of our stock. We're just going to let that cook out nice and gently so it doesn't taste floury at all. It'll be soft, fresh white breadcrumbs, not dried. It won't get the same effect. And then we're going to put, I'd say, 50 grams in to start with. You probably need less than you think because we want those to thicken up and cook out. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter in because the bread can be quite acidic and it might actually split the milk. So a little bit of butter will increase the fat content and help us to avoid that. Butter's gone in. It's a big knob. Just going to stir that, let that bread soak up. Meanwhile, our gravy is coming along nicely. A little season. Get salt. Bread's also cooking out. Okay. Would have thickened up, so I'm just going to add a little bit more bread. You can see that's starting to thicken up. Give that another 3 or 4 minutes and that'll be perfect. Okay.